1952 National Invitation Tournament. The final game sees Dayton University pitted against the Explorers of La Salle before an excited crowd at Madison Square Garden. There's Tom Gola, big center and high scorer of La Salle. Fred Eiley, the Explorers' jump shot wizard. Norm Grecken, number 3 man for La Salle, a terrific rebounder and clutch player. Now for Dayton, there's Chuck Grigsby, 6'5" forward. And Don Meineke, the flyer, 6'7" pivot ace. Don's high man in the NIT for total scoring and rebounding. But here's the tap-off. Pete Boyle of Dayton grabs the ball, and the Flyers waste no time. Into Meineke for a layup under the basket. 2-0, but here's La Salle. Grecken over to Donnelly, who drives up the key. A pretty play. Here's Dayton's Leland Norris, and look at him drive. A bounce pass from under the basket to John Horan, and a bullseye. Newt Jones gives to Donnelly for that running one-hander. The score is tied as the Flyers come down court. This is the second year this Ohio team has played in the NIT final. Last year, they lost to Brigham Young. There's Grigsby, and he's going in. Pretty play. Grecken setting. Swish. 2 tremendous college teams are out there tonight. Let's watch La Salle's Explorers in slow motion. There's Gola from the side. Pretty as a picture. And La Salle leads at the quarter, 18-13. Grigsby trying to get around Grecken. He finally does. But his shot is missed. A rebound is missed. And the Explorers take over with a glittering fast break. Each of those 3 La Salle men take part. Donnelly with the ball. In it goes to Grecken, who doesn't have a shot, so the payoff is by Gola. That play was a beaut. To reach the NIT final, Dayton previously beat NYU, St. Louis, and St. Bonaventure, but they're up against a Tartar in La Salle. The Explorers are collapsing in on Dayton's high scorer, Meineke, so Big Don fools them. Norris is clear, and he makes the basket. Up and in. A very nice play for the Dayton boys, but late in the second quarter, La Salle has busted ahead to lead by 7 points, 32-25. Here's Donnelly coming up the key again. He's a spark plug, that boy. For Dayton, Big Meineke is in the pivot, a position he plays beautifully. Look at that hook. La Salle coach Ken Leffler hollers to watch that fella. The half is just about over now. On a screen play, Jackie Moore misses a running one-hander, but watch the follow-up by Gola. Nice fake and a nice basket. And 38-30, La Salle leads at halftime. Explorers ball following in the mission. Moore tries a jump shot that misses. Boyle rebounds, and here's a Dayton fast break. Grigsby to Norris, and the connection. The Flyers have cut the halftime lead to 4 points, 40-36. Signals are crossed. The ball is batted out of Gola's hands, and Boyle flies down court. A quick pass to Meineke, and Dayton is just 2 points away from the tie, 40-38. There's more of La Salle. No good, but Eiley recovers for that one-hander of his. Around and out. So now it's Gola. It's good. Dayton is staying right up there, however. Horan feeds Grigsby for an easy layup. Now La Salle hitting right back. Gola to Eiley for his favorite jump shot. Once more, slow motion on this out-of-bounds play for Dayton. Meineke misses from underneath. Moore bats it out to Eiley, and La Salle is off. Over to Donnelly, and this is it. Donnelly fakes a shot, then passes to Moore, who's fouled on the shot as he makes the basket. La Salle, the team that upset Duquesne, Seton Hall, and St. John's in his drive to the NIT final, now has broken loose on a 10-point spree. When Gola scores on another jump shot, they lead 52-40. But Dayton is far from quitting. Jim Paxson drives up the key, and he's got a basket. Here's Gola It's off the rim. Winik rebounds and gives it to Paxson. A steal, and Salle is fast breaking. 2-on-1 as Donnelly goes in to score. The Explorers are now ahead 70-55 with 2 minutes to go. Gola intercepts, and it's Salle again. By now, all hope is gone for Dayton. There's Eiley with his specialty. Only seconds remaining in the game now. Jump ball in the Dayton zone. Paxson finally grabs it, but there's no time for a play. Salle is the winner of the 1952 National Invitation Tournament. 75-64 over Dayton. Coach Leffler accepts congratulations. Gola and Glickman are named most valuable players, and the happy Salle boys are the National Invitation champions. The University of Kansas, champions of the NCAA, meet Southwest Missouri State, king of the NAIB, in the Olympic basketball playoffs. The Jayhawks in dark jerseys get possession and move the ball into play. Southwest Missouri, trying to stop the great Kansas center, Clyde LaVellette, collapses 3 men in on him. And it worked. Now the Bears. Fred Stevens dribbles up court. Into Jim Julian, who loops in a beauty. With LaVellette covered, Dean Kelly cuts across the key for a pretty running right-hander. And the Jayhawks are in the scoring column, too. There's a capacity crowd in Kansas City's Municipal Auditorium for this one. There's Bill Lee of the Bears with a long one-hander. But Kansas has its outside experts, too. Bill Howland finds the target. The Jayhawks have moved quickly into the lead. There's a steal. Charlie Hogue of Kansas bullets down court for a layup. At the quarter, it's 21-12 in favor of Kansas. The scrappy team from Southwest Missouri is having trouble trying to get even. Bill Thomas cuts to the right of the key. No good. And watch this Kansas fast break. 2-on-1. Leinhardt and Kenny, with Kenny pouring it through. 51-28 at the half in favor of Kansas. And after intermission, the Jayhawks are just as tough as before. It's their ball. Leinhardt's jump shot is off, but LaVellette bats the rebound back out to Howland, and it's still Kansas ball. This is the cue for the Jayhawks All-American LaVellette to get going. Held to a mere 8 points in the first half, Clyde starts cooking. There he is, and the burner is on. Fighting back, the Bears rely on the marvelous hook shooting of Jimmy Julian. He's really good, but they can't cope with Clyde LaVellette. He's off on a spree. 71-51, the Jayhawks lead going into the final quarter, and Big Clyde, who personally racks up 29 points, is knocking him dead. There he is again. The tap is in. Southwest Missouri continues to fight. Watch Julian in the key again as he fakes LaVellette and salts away one of those breathtaking hooks. Nice work. But the Bears are doomed in this one. There's the jump ball at their foul line late in the game. And there's time for still another Jayhawk basket on a breakaway by Dean Kelly. And that's it. A fighting Olympic basketball playoff in which Southwest Missouri State, champions of the NAIB, is snowed under by the thundering Kansans 92-65. Next in our Converse cavalcade of basketball, let's take a look at the game as a coach sees it. Or better yet, let's take a look at the coaches themselves. When a team is out there playing ball, the emotions of the man on the bench just naturally run the gamut from high elation to deep despair. The coaches we're about to show you rate among the best, and they've been kind enough to let our cameras film them during actual games. Here's Ed Diddle of Western Kentucky, unusual in the coaching ranks because he actually carries a crying towel. Coach Ray Meyer of DePaul, the quiet type. Quiet? Ray's a guy who never gives up. There's Frank McGuire of St. John's, a thoughtful man, but even Frank can get stirred up on the bench. Next, John Wheathy of Cincinnati. John used to be a football star, and we see him right now cheerleading. Coach Bernard Hickman of Louisville. Look at him cling to that bench under duress. But then it's up and out and at him, Coach. Here's George Ireland of Loyola of Chicago. If you'll excuse the expression, this is Coach Ireland giving it the English. Ken Leffler of La Salle, the professor type. But should one of his stars play the role of a dunce, here's one professor who can roar out a lesson. Coach Ed Melvin of St. Bonaventure is not out to kill, just has a few words of fatherly advice. Coach Taps Gallagher of Niagara, who thoughtfully chews on a finger while his careful gaze takes in everything that's happening out on the floor. But now we're in the pro leagues. Red Auerbach of the Boston Celtics, who sometimes suffers on the bench. And here's Coach Joe Lapchick of the New York Knicks, whose suffering has blown a gasket. Rough Joe. And for our finale, here's Herman Schaefer of the Indianapolis Olympians. Basketball's a wonderful game, but while we watch the coaches, we see the game is full of tribulations. The New York Knicks versus the Minneapolis Lakers in the NBA's final playoffs. The Knicks in the dark jerseys get possession, and Sweetwater Clifton puts up a set shot that ripples the cords. The Lakers are fighting to regain the World Championship they lost a year ago. Slater Martin misses, but Vern Mickelson scores the tap-in. That kind of work the Lakers like. Here are the Knicks. Harry Gallatin screens for Dick McGuire, who charges across the key. It's a basket. Minneapolis is playing a steady game in this opening quarter. Watch them move that ball around. Salle pops it in. Clifton is the key man for the Knicks right now. Mikan is guarding him, but Sweets gets past him for a marvelous underhand shot. Martin dribbles down court. Over to Mickelson. Now George Mikan missing from the pivot, but Mickelson is there for the tap. And the Lakers are out in front at the end of the first quarter, 33-26. The Knicks ball, and they almost lose it. Dick McGuire finally recovers, and watch this play. Ray Lump cuts around to take a pretty bounce pass from Simmons for a left-handed layup. The Lakers are seeing their lead melt away, but here comes help. Salle finds the range. Gallatin passes out to McGuire. Over to Vandeweghe, who sets. Good. Now the Lakers. And here's a look at the scoring power of Mikan. Big George is in the pivot. His shot is off, but he follows it up. The rebounding of Mikan and Mickelson controls the ball. Clifton's set shot now is going to be taken, but it's off the rim. Mikan rebounds and fires it down court. A terrific fast break with Mickelson scoring. The Knicks, however, are on a streak of their own, sparked by the floor play of Dick McGuire. Dick hands off to Vandeweghe for a nice one-hander. But when the Lakers need points, they can always depend on George. There's Mikan again, and the Lakers lead at intermission 49-48. Referee Stan Stutz throws up the ball for the second half. Possession goes to the Lakers, who are now playing it very carefully. Martin's one-hander rims the basket, but Mickelson and Mikan take care of the rebound. Each of those big boys scores 32 points apiece in this game. They're starting to stampede. Mickelson steals the ball. Another fast break and another basket for the Lakers. A long pass down court. Zaslavsky holds it up. Over to Clifton. Back to Simmons, who shoots. No good, and Mickelson rebounds. Bobby Harrison dribbles it up court, and coming along is some razzle-dazzle. Howie Schultz on a dash across the key. The Lakers lead 77-65 going into the final quarter. The Knicks need help. There's Al McGuire with a pretty scoop shot. The Knicks keep fighting. Here's a little marksmanship by Zaslavsky. An overhead set shot right on the mark. The game's getting wild. Gallatin intercepts. The Knicks are battling back. Captain loses the ball, and now the Lakers are rolling. Hitch to Schultz to Martin for a wide-open break. Max Zaslavsky again, and he's working like a thief. His set shot is off, but not his thievery. Max steals the ball, and now he gets his basket. But the Lakers can't be denied. Mighty Mikan is in the pivot, and it's 2 more points for Minneapolis. With time running out, the Lakers have opened their lead. Zaslavsky's shot rolls off the hoop, and once more the Lakers are running. Hitch and Schultz collaborating perfectly. And that's the ball game. The powerful Lakers go on to win another basketball world championship, 4 games to 3, as they beat New York in this one, 102-89. The Converse Cavalcade is proud to bring you now the NBA All-Star team. The players you are about to see undoubtedly rank as the finest individual performers in the game today. Dolph Schayes of the Syracuse Nationals. Dolph was a former All-American at New York University and is one of the greatest rebounders in the league. There you see him in action against the New York Knicks. A long pass down court to Red Rocha, and the Nats have a basket. Despite a broken wrist in midseason that forced him to play with a cumbersome cast, Schayes remained a menace. Watch him there, a tremendous player, Dolph Schayes of Syracuse. Ed Macauley of the Boston Celtics, who tied Schayes in the voting. Easy Ed Macauley first achieved national collegiate fame as the fabulous center of the St. Louis Billikens. There you see him scoring easily and gracefully for the Boston Celtics. One of the greatest natural players in the game, in spite of a ring-bean appearance, Ed makes every shot look casual. Yes, easy Ed Macauley of the Boston Celtics. Paul Arizin of the Philadelphia Warriors. A former All-American from Villanova, Paul Arizin this year ended the 4-year reign of Mikan as top scorer of the NBA. There you see him, number 11, making one of his spectacular jump shots. Arizin can shoot him from anywhere, and his field goal percentage was the best in the league. An uncanny sense of timing and unbelievable accuracy make Paul a marvelous man to watch. There you see him scoring from underneath. George Mikan of the Minneapolis Lakers. Since his college days at DePaul, the incomparable George Mikan has earned the name of Mr. Basketball himself. There we see him playing the pivot for the Minneapolis Lakers, whom he has led to 4 World Championships in 5 years. No other man in basketball is as devastating as Mikan when it comes to playing the pivot position. Averaging nearly 24 points per game during the season, this all-time All-Star has extraordinary scoring punch. Bob Cousy of the Boston Celtics. Cousy, number 14, has often been called the Wizard of basketball. A relatively small man, he was 3rd high scorer of the NBA, averaging more than 21 points a game against the big guys. During his brilliant career at Holy Cross and his present play with Boston, Bob Cousy has dazzled countless fans with his thrilling brand of basketball. Bob Davies of the Rochester Royals. Davies, a former All-American at Seton Hall, is a spark plug guy, playmaker par excellence. Long one of the best in the NBA, he's also a crackerjack set shot artist. Go ahead, Bob. And with Bob Davies, the blonde bombshell of Rochester, we wind up our roster of the National Basketball Association All-Stars, a dream team of the world's greatest basketball stars. the NBA's annual East-West All-Star Game, Fred Scolari of the Baltimore Bullets. Another star for the Easterners is Easy Ed McCauley of the Boston Celtics. A trio of Philadelphia Warriors from left to right, Paul Arizin, Joe Fulks, and Andy Phillips. There's Bob Cousy of the Boston Celtics taking time to sign an autograph. Three aces from the New York Knickerbockers, Max Zaslowski, Harry Gallatin, and Dick McGuire. And winding up our Eastern All-Stars is Red Rocha of the Syracuse Nationals. Now for the West, Doc Edelman of the Milwaukee Hawks. And Mr. Basketball himself, George Mikan of the Minneapolis Lakers. A duo of Rochester Royals, Bob Davies on the left and Arnold Risen. From behind the news into the limelight is Bobby Wanzer, also from Rochester. Number 10, a great player from the Indianapolis Olympians, Leo Barnhorst. Two more big wheels from the Lakers, Jim Pollard showing tricks to Vern Mickelson. Both can handle that ball. Speaking of crackerjack ball handlers, here's Frank Bryan of the Fort Wayne Pistons. And winding up the West team in this array of tremendous basketball talent is Paul Walther of Indianapolis. The All-Star Game took place at the Boston Garden. East in the white grabs the lead from the start with shooting like that of Andy Phillips showing the way. Bullseye. Here's the West. Jim Pollard dribbling down court. His one-hander rims the basket, but Mickelson taps it in. It's now late in the game, and the West trails 72-64. Bob Davies with a beautiful running one-hander. Now the Easterners. Phillip has the ball, but not for long. A nifty steal by Frank Bryan, who goes all the way. But the East is leading 99-91 in this final quarter when they intercept the ball. Watch the fancy pass-off by Cousy. The on-rushing Paul Arizin lays it in. Arizin, incidentally, is named the All-Star Game's most valuable player. In the contest closing minutes, the Eastern All-Stars break it wide open. Watch this pretty play. McGuire into Scolari and a perfect setup for Red Rocha. That makes it 106-91, and as the West gets wilder, the East gets hotter. Here they come, fast breaking. Scolari gets the basket. Just 5 seconds left in the game, and one last shot by Barnhorst. No good, and that's it. The All-Stars of the East beat the best of the West in a thriller in Boston, 108-91. It's college champion versus amateur champion as the Kansas Jayhawks meet the Peoria Caterpillars in the Olympic final. Meet the Kansans, Clyde Lovellette, Bill Howland, Bill Leinhard, and their hustling guard, Dean Kelly. But right now, the opening tap-off. Peoria is wearing the dark jersey, and they get possession. They move that ball around down there, giving each man a chance to handle it before they try for that basket. Frank McCabe in the pivot there. He misses, but Howie Williams makes good on the rebound. Here's Kansas. Dean Kelly shoots from the key. No good. And the Diesels have a roaring fast break. It's 2-on-1, and Dan Pippen makes the basket. The powerful Jayhawks, of course, are depending on that 6'9" center, Clyde Lovellette, who's playing the pivot. When Dean Kelly misses from the corner, Clyde is there to bucket the rebound. He's got it. But let's watch Peoria in slow motion. They beat out the Phillips Oilers to reach this Olympic final. One of their stars is Ron Bontemps, who used to play for Beloit College. There's Bontemps now. Nice shooting. But Kansas has its experts at the jump shot, too. That hard-playing guard, Dean Kelly, is one of them. There he goes. Swish. There's Bontemps cutting across the key. He can't shoot, so out it goes to Bill Dempsey, who can. Another bullseye, and Coach Fog Allen calls on his Kansas team to score. There's Charlie Hogue with a one-hander from the corner. The Diesels have a height advantage with Marcus Freiberger at center. Freiberger, the former Oklahoma star, is just 1 inch short of 7 feet. There he is with the ball, and notice his line drive shooting. Kansas is 12 points behind Peoria, 31-19, and they're finding it hard to penetrate the Diesel defense. Both teams will go to make up the Olympic team. However, both teams want to win this game. There's Kenny connecting from the side, and it's 31-21 at halftime. Here's Kansas after intermission. They're coming back strongly. Leinhardt passes to LaVellette, whose hook shot is off, but Howland gets the rebound, and Kansas gets a basket. Interception by Dean Kelly. He holds it up a second, and then he passes to Leinhardt. And there's LaVellette, whose hook shot is deadly. Here are the Caterpillars again, and they're cooking up a pretty play off the pivot. Freiberger to Bontemps for the score. Peoria is collapsing in on LaVellette, so Kelly has a beautiful shot. Once more, slow motion on these extraordinary Jayhawks. They've cut down the Peoria lead to 6 points, 54-48. They're still going strong, especially LaVellette. There he is, faking perfectly and making his favorite hook shot. Bontemps trying to pass in, loses the ball, and here come the Jayhawks. Leinhardt, over to Hogue, now to Kenny. Coach Warren Womble of Peoria hastes to look. The Caterpillars now have Frank McCabe in the pivot, and this former Marquette star is very proficient from the post. But Kansas is only 4 points behind, 58-54, and they're fighting to tie. When Howland misses from the side, Keller gets the rebound. Kansas is now pressing all over the floor. The pressure is on. Another steal by the Jayhawks. And here they come. Kenny's set is short, but they still have the ball. Man, they've made a comeback. There's Kelly with that running one-hander, and the score is tied at 60-all. Watch LaVellette steal that ball again. He does it. 10 seconds remain as he storms down court. But Clyde misses the hanger. Peoria grabs the rebound. Bontemps fires down court, and Howie Williams hits from the side. 3 seconds to go. That's the ball game. Kansas gives them a terrific fight, but the Peoria Caterpillars win the Olympic final. A thrilling victory over the Jayhawks in the last 3 seconds, 62-60. The famed Harlem Globetrotters come into Madison Square Garden. These clown kings of basketball never cease to be an absorbing sports show. The things they can do with a basketball makes them the most hilarious athletes in the world. Let's watch them in their laugh-provoking warm-up. Tap-off now against the Chicago Majors. The Trotters are as full of slapstick as ever, but mind you, these fellas are the masters of this game of basketball. Hey, what's this? Looks like a switch to the T formation. Goose Tatum paces off a penalty and centers the ball to Marcus Haynes for a drop kick. These wonderful Trotters have the garden in stitches, but mixed with that crowd-pleasing showmanship is some outstanding individual virtuosity. The Globetrotters have authentically great stars. Watch the king of the dribblers, Marcus Haynes. He has such perfect fingertip control that he can bounce the ball a half inch off the floor. A tackle finally stops him. But Coach Abe Saperstein's men go right back to fooling. It's baseball, and Goose Tatum is ready to belt one, and he does. He's rounding first. He's stretching it to 2. Say, wait a minute, there's a photographer at second base. He's going to try for home, but it looks like he's going to be out at the plate. No, he's safe. The Barnstorming Trotters are the world's greatest exponents of unorthodox play. Climbing a teammate's shoulders isn't legal, but it sure saves jumping. Now the word has come for a freeze. So who's got the ball? Goose Tatum isn't telling, but there's something showing. The referee is beginning to burn. This hocus pocus has gone too far. That situation calls for a technical foul. Now we see the Trotters in a more serious mood as they start their transcontinental tour against the college All-Stars. Fellas like Bill Milkby of Temple, Leroy Leslie of Notre Dame, and Bob Zawalik of St. John's. Here's the tap, and the Trotters have possession. Haynes brings it down court. Here's Babe Presley from way outside. Some shooting. Now Sam Miranda of Indiana over to Benny Purcell of Murray State. His shot is missed, but Zawalik of St. John's taps in the rebound beautifully. Here's a pretty try by the Collegians. But again, the Trotters take over. A long pass to the Goose, and is he cooking? Tatum is high scorer in this game with 22 points. Here's slow motion on these terrific Trotters. Haynes with the ball. But just look at the play by Josh Grider. Amazing basketball. Here's little Benny Purcell again. Beautiful shot. Notice the Trotters play inside here. It's Grider with the payoff. The College Stars have their hands full. Milkby to Zawalik for a hook pass to Workman. It's good. Now more slapstick. The Trotters have a comfortable lead. They can afford to be funny. The game is just about over now, and once more it's that genius of the dribble, Marcus Haynes. Nobody, but nobody can dribble a basketball like that man Haynes. That's all. The fun-loving Trotters have won another basketball game when they beat the All-Stars 75-60.